What was that race? What even was that race? That has to be one of the most chaotic and hectic Formula One Grand Prix I've ever watched. Like if you watched it live, you would know what I mean. Drama left, right, and center, bro. Like it was insane. What's up, guys? It is me, 9GP, and today I'll be talking about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix and what a race we got, guys. Like, I didn't think we would get a good race because of the nature of this Jeddah street circuit, but looks like I was proven wrong. So for the first 10 laps, everyone was playing it safe by not making many moves to avoid the risk of a collision, except Carlos Sainz, who was making overtakes up the field but kept it clean. Then on lap 10, Mick Schumacher crashes into the barrier, causing a safety car. Now this is where it gets interesting. Most of the drivers pit, including the two Mercedes. However, Red Bull for some reason kept Verstappen out, and conveniently the red flag was put out, meaning the race was stopped, benefiting Max to change tyres. Lewis and other F1 fans question on why there was a red flag, since the state of the barrier looked fine, but I'm guessing the FIA didn't want to take any risks of another driver going into the same area and not getting the full protection needed. So after the red flag, the race restarts and Hamilton has a great start. Verstappen goes round the outside and then goes off the track, hits the curb and is taking the lead. Hamilton's put off and tries to avoid the collision. Ocon overtakes Hamilton, is now in P2. Hamilton's P3. Bottas almost locked up and hit Verstappen. And there is chaos happening at the back where Perez was taken out after him and Leclerc were being squeezed and Leclerc accidentally clipped his rear tyre. It wasn't Leclerc's fault and the halo saved Nikita Mazepin. Yet again, we have another red flag, and during this time Max was demoted down to third because he overtook Hamilton off the track.
I'm going to give you the opportunity based on what occurred at turn 1-2. We would drop you back behind Hamilton.
Understood.
That is my offer.
Yeah, we'll accept that. We understand the order will be Ocon, Hamilton, Verstappen.
That is correct.
And from this promoted Esteban to start on pole. So it's lights out for the third time, and already they go 3 wide into turn 1. Ocon going round the outside of Hamilton, but already Max finds a gap and dives down the inside of Lewis, whilst at the same time Lewis and Ocon make slight contact. Lewis overtakes Ocon and is on the pursuit to catch Max. On lap 36, he catches up with Verstappen, but the Dutchman refuses to yield and tries to defend by pushing Lewis and himself off the track. Now, this is almost exactly what happened in Brazil. In my opinion, it was quite a bad move, especially since it could have been a race-ending collision. However, and this may sound controversial, but I think Max was trying to do everything he could just to keep the lead in the championship or perhaps increase it. Now we get to the infamous part of the race where the two drivers made contact. Verstappen was told by the stewards to give the position back to Hamilton, as the move he did a lap prior was deemed illegal, and so he does by slowing down to allow Hamilton to pass. But there was a communication error at Mercedes and they were too late to inform Lewis on what Max was doing, which leads to the pair colliding. The Mercedes driver suffers slight damage to his front wing, and you could see the emotion of all the Lewis fans as expressed by Toto Wolff. Now, fans were divided by this, with some saying that Max brake checked Lewis or that Lewis hit Max. I just want to express my opinion on this. Firstly, I think when Lewis approached Verstappen, he should have realised there was a slower moving car in front of him, and in that situation you would move out of the way. Instead, he reacted late, causing the collision. It could be argued that he didn't have enough room, which I guess is quite plausible since Verstappen should have moved more to the right side of the track, making it more obvious for the car behind. Also, if you look at this image, there was still room for Lewis to pass. And if Max was going to brake check Lewis to cause the collision, he would suffer the consequences with damage to his car and a possible grid place penalty for the next race, which is something you don't want to see in the penultimate championship deciding race. Then again, I think besides all these factors, this was more of an issue at Mercedes since they didn't warn Lewis about Verstappen allowing him to pass. So after that, a lap later, Max let Lewis by again around the same corner, but then Max immediately overtook Lewis afterwards. It was kind of strategic so he can get the DRS on the long straight, but then Lewis was able to overtake him again and lead for the rest of the race. However, Max was then handed a 10-second penalty for 2 incidences, one of them being the turn 1 incident with Lewis where he almost caused the collision, and the other where the FIA deemed Max guilty for brake checking. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Even though his car had slight front wing damage, Lewis Hamilton comes home to win the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with the fastest lap, and you got to credit him for that. You know, with a damaged car he was able to push through, and then Verstappen comes home second. Esteban Ocon almost gets the podium finish, but Bottas beats him on the line. Quite a dramatic ending to the race. Because of where the title contenders finish, Max and Lewis are both now equal on 369.5 points, like how I predicted on one of my older videos. Actually, to be honest, I actually didn't think they would be equal on points. I thought Max would have a 8-point advantage, or you know, Lewis would have a points advantage. But guess I was wrong. Max is still leading because he has one more win than Lewis. But yeah, it's gonna be quite exciting to see how everything plays out in Abu Dhabi. Perez retiring from the race gave Mercedes a huge advantage in the constructors, giving them a 28-point lead. I mostly see them winning it in Abu Dhabi, and I feel like at this point perhaps Red Bull are going to be more focused on Max winning the drivers instead. And yeah, I also just want to mention Antonio Giovinazzi finishing in P9. He rarely gets in the points, but that's good to see, especially in a shit car. And Carlos Sainz went from P15 to P8, just behind his teammate Charles Leclerc. So that's, you know, good stuff to see. And yeah, overall, this race broke my expectations. I didn't really expect it to be this crazy and, you know, this controversial. And now, because of the incident that, you know, both Hamilton and Verstappen got into, it's gonna be known for like so many years to come, like all the other instances they've gone into each other this year. So yeah, now we go into Abu Dhabi, and it's gonna be very tight, as it already is. Both tied on points. You know, a lot of pressure, a lot of different circumstances could happen, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye.